Hi there, Todd Hobson, driver of the Russell Steel Cool Freighters V84, V8 Dirt Modified. Just going to go through the suspension today, episode 2 of why TMI is different, because this car is very different. Just going to go through just generally what the suspension is compared to, and I'm just going to compare it to say a sprint car or a late model or whatever, you know, sort of put a bit of contrast into what I'm saying, so yeah, enjoy. So I'm going to start with the front end today, and it's a beam axle as I mentioned last week, like a sprint car. But we run 4 links off it. So there's 1, 2, and then on the other side, 3, 4. Plus a panhard that just stops it from going back and forth like that. It's the front end, basically, we got 6 pin front hubs. So they're like old school sprint car stuff. But one day I'll put the Y5s on. We got heaps of these, so we just use them. Big beefy brakes, like as you see, we got 4 piston on the back, 4 piston fronts with a big rotor, and just because you need the brake for this. It's a very heavy car. It's a 980 kilos. I don't know what that is in pounds, so Americans, you can just Google it. What 980 kilo? Oh, actually, it's technically about 1040 we've weighed it at. So there's some secrets right there for what this thing actually weighs. Drag link as well for your steering. So that's basically like a sprint car as well. Basically the front end is completely a sprint car except this top link. So let's put that in short. And then going on the rear end here, this is in the left rear wheel well. So sprint car guys will know this. So you've got radius rod, bird cage, open axle, live axle, torsion arm, inboard brakes as well. So big beefy brakes for the weight, quick change diff, but that's just a sprint car style one, but it's 2 hats instead of 1. So it's only really useful information if you know what that means. So this is what's probably interesting, these little red things here. So they're bearings in there, so they're just a ball bearing. We've got bushes and there's the stops on there. So stop on one side, bearing on the other side. So basically these are not maintenance free, but you don't really have to do a crazy amount of maintenance to them because they're steel bearings. The stop end really doesn't move, so I just give it a little grease because that's just what I do. I'm a bit OCD. So on this side, we've got another brake. There's a right rear brake, a big brake caliper on it. 4 piston, like you'd probably see nearly on the rear of a sprint car if you were really keen, but I'd run a bigger one on my sprint car. Jacob's ladder, that's a huge difference. Basically, if you don't know what Jacob's ladder is, that controls your roll center, but does it in a different way to what a late model or a super sedan would do. So a lot of them run panhards and J-bars. They're fixed to the diff, so your roll center maintains with your diff, I'm pretty sure. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but this has like an imaginary point, and it changes as that imaginary point changes different to how the diff articulates. This is the main reason, that and the torque arm in there, which I'll explain in a sec. That's the reason why this car sits very different, because it's basically trying to do what a sprint car does, but yeah, without all the wings and all that. So that's basically what this whole car is, just a big sprint car that weighs a lot of weight. So I'll explain with the torque arm quickly. So Morse's torque arms were styled like this, but I've made this one myself. This is a 120 wall chrome ollie, which is probably overkill. I just wanted to over-engineer the first one. I'm making a lighter one at the moment. With this, they're just mild steel plates at the back, but plenty of bolts to pick them up, just to distribute the stress pretty well. The old Morse ones, they used to mount here, but I changed it to suit the style of a late model. So that project's been probably, I thought of it I sort of discussed it. I'm not going to say I thought the idea up, but I discussed it probably since about March last year. Put it into production, put it on my CAD drawings, did it all on SolidWorks, measured it all up in June, July, and then sort of got it put together in August, September. So it's been a bit of a project, and there's not a lot of room down there, so definitely was very interesting. So just quickly as well, sprint car guys would appreciate this. Drive shaft, it's 2 yokes at each end and going into a quick change, which is pretty cool. That takes basically all our bind out as well. So you got to basically get your diff right in the center. You can't use when you when you square cars up. They should be in the middle, basically, if the axle's been aligned. But you don't have that factor here. You have to make sure that it's right from back to here, engine plate, sorry, to axle on each side. Also left to right as well. So that's a bit of a pain, but you know, it definitely makes you better at building cars in the end, because you just don't have that torque cube to make it work. So anyway, I'm going to stop rambling, because I've rambled probably a bit too much longer than I thought. But yeah, enjoy that one. I'll probably go into the gearbox, trans, all that, and motors next time. So see you later. Thank you.